Councilman Joe Hogan of District 1 held a town hall meeting Thursday night to discuss the proposed sports complex here in Sylacauga and the impact it could have on the city and to hear from the citizens.
Tonight's meeting is about you guys. Recently, we've taken up several ideas for an athletic sports complex. I like to call it a multi-use complex. We all know that most of the people in the city have been wanting one for quite some time. We've had a presentation lately by Councilman Lucas with some ideas on how to pay for it, which included going up on taxes. And some of the things that were involved in that project are included $5 million for paving, the sports complex, which was $15 million, another $5 million for other things around the city that really needs to be done.
But then he said, so you're going to live in Birmingham? No, we're going to live in our community. We saw schools, we saw churches, we saw what we needed. We saw the Bluebell, of course Avondale's not here now. We saw a great community. We lived here, we didn't have kids. 6 years later, yes, we have a child. We have a child, but guess what we were talking about when we moved here? Building a sports complex. The personnel giving money. This has been going on a long time. We had an opportunity to move. Kenny moved. I do not want to leave this town. He came back. We want to be here. But we want something for our kids. If it makes a profit and it's for our kids, we just got to do something. We got to do something.
We have been pushing. I've bought signs and advertisements that say when we invest in our kids, we invest in Sylacauga's future. I believe that. But I'm also in the position where I have to be fiscally, financially responsible.
As I look around in the room here, I don't see too many faces that I know, just a couple. I can say that I have never in my lifetime been to a city council meeting in the city of Sylacauga. And I went to high school here, Sylacauga High.
Your name, sir?
Jim Jackson. And I live in Cross Creek Lane, District 1. Question I have for the Parks and Rec Director is that how many additional personnel do you think it would be required to staff this facility, to maintenance and to just operate it? How many additional?
Now you're basing this on the plan that was presented a couple weeks ago.
Exactly.
24.
24?
You're looking at year-round sports, soccer. Lacrosse is coming up big. I mean, lacrosse is coming. Then you got football. Then you got baseball. You got men's softball. You don't build this. You have got, you got to have the people.
Does that number 25, does that include the supervision and the managers that will sit back behind the scenes, not be boots on the ground out there at the compound? But
We have that in place.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, so what you're saying is that you don't need any additional supervision. You just need 25 more additional troops on the ground to staff it.
Promote within to help on stuff. And our executive director, Jim Armstrong, we're behind this, but look, nothing's going to happen until the city council comes together and either give the funding to us. If we could write a check tomorrow for $15 million, we would do it to help these kids. But if we don't have the funding, how are we going to upkeep it after it's done?
Well, that's my point. I mean,
that's the city council. It's not us.
And the numbers.
It's got to come from the city council and from our city officials.
And the numbers that I hear thrown around that we're going to borrow the money for.
That's not us.
For that.
We just try to manage our parks and recs and do the best we can on the money that's allotted from the city.
I understand that, but if the city goes bankrupt, so goes Parks and Rec.
Hey, everything else will too.
Everything else. So I mean, I'm just what I'm trying to get clear in my mind is the $25 million figure that I've seen read in the paper and that I've heard as I talk to other people. Is that $25 million? Does that factor in the 25 employees you just stated? Additionally, you would need. Okay, so that's an additional cost then to the city, above and beyond the $25 million that's on the table right now.
It's not our decision. Wait, we'll take.
Well, it's additional money that the city has,
Given to us, we'll take what.
but the city has to pay for that. I mean, plus the 25 million. You know, they have to make the bond payments on the 25 million.
Sir, I know that.
Hold on a second, let me answer that. In that original proposal of 25 million, that included the extra people.
Their salaries,
That included the
benefits.
labor that you're asking about.
their benefits and everything.
So in the original plan, how it was to be funded through that tax increase, which was that particular plan that was presented, that extra, I think, $270,000 a year or so included all the labor that you're talking about that would be extra. So that was included in that original presentation.
Okay.
You know, the goal is, sir, is for this thing to be self-supporting in the long run. But until a decision is made by our city officials, we can't do anything. I'm here for the city. I'm here for our kids, our elderly. I'm here for everybody. But, you know, until a decision's made, there's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied.
Well, I guess, I'm not sure who will be making the decision. I guess the council members will be making the decision. You folks will be lobbying the council in order to, you'll be pro this plan. You'll be lobbying the council to go forward with it.
Do what's best for the
I understand.
department
I
and the
understand.
city.
I understand.
I've been here for 30 years. I've been on this board for 23 years. I'm all about the citizens of this town.
Well, and I guess I'm trying to, as a citizen here and a voter in this town, and also concerned about the future of this town. And
I think we all are.
well, I don't know. I just know in my life, you know, when bills come and this and that, and I try to live within my means. I don't go out spending money I don't have. And I think that's wise decision. And my goal here, and I'm just trying to stand up here and maybe point out some things that the folks that show up here tonight may not have thought about in this, and they may say, well, you know, that's a concern. Yeah. That's my entire goal here.
Now, I hold on one second. I understand Councilman Lucas's position in this. My opinion of his take on this is that we have a good chance of doing it this term without depending on another council. And he came up with a plan based on a tax. The company that I've been talking to and dealing with, and I hope to be able to get with the council, to get with the Parks and Rec Board on, this company comes in and builds it. We end up paying them back, but we have a contract with them on how we split the money that's taken in out there. They come in and build it. They fill it full on the weekends. We get a percentage of that on the weekends. It's ours to maintain during the week. They also handle the upkeep and the maintenance on that. Now, you know, that would be for you guys to consider and how much it's going to cost you versus how much it's going to cost to let the other company do it. Might be. I don't know that it's not a good idea. I don't know that it's not a bad idea yet. We weren't able to get to that point to get some really hard details from them. Right. But
you guys can make it.
Right. But
Get the numbers together, Joe. Bring them to our board. I'll speak for the board. We'll listen to anything.
right. But you asked.
We're on this board to do what's best for this town, okay? Bring the data to us, and we'll do our due diligence to work with you guys and do what's better for our children, our elderly, everybody in this population. So
Well, I don't doubt that, and we don't. But Matt asked, what are we going to do for our kids? That's another plan to help work with someone else to invest in us. You know, do we get a percentage of what they're bringing all the time that has a lot less risk on our part? That's a whole different plan that is hopefully will be considered soon. And hopefully I can get us to the point where we can have them present to you guys, and you guys determine, hey, we like this, or no, we don't like this. That's not our call on this. That's something we come back to you guys and see what works. But hopefully that'll be part of a repackaging plan, at least one that I'm trying to put together. And I don't know what the other council members are doing.
Is to raise taxes. So why are we even going there if we don't have no other plan to finance sport? It just don't make sense.
But here's the reason. We have money in our school system. We have great school system. We live in Sylacauga, a great town with great school system. I live in the city limits to keep my kids in the city still. And I live in Sylacauga.
Yeah, I think the sportsplex complex is a great idea. but it is this time we need a lot of revenue, and to borrow money, I don't think the city is able to or should borrow money, especially for $25 million, when we need to find some kind of ways to bring revenue into the city. But we do need a complex. We need something for the kids, but the timing is just not right now. To me, that we need to be spending more time on bringing revenue in. I had recommended occupational fee that could bring revenue in. But the kids do need something. The majority of the people that have money, they go outside of the city and spend it. Inverness, Birmingham. A lot of the people in Sylacauga on fixed incomes, and that 1.5% tax increase would hurt them. So I think that we need the sportsplex. We do need it, but we need to find some other way of finances. And what I heard tonight, all the other ideas about it, is a better way than raising the taxes. But we do need a sportsplex here. So.
We're not broke by any means. You know, we have a hard time balancing that budget. I mean, that budget is about $15 million every year. By the time we do all the things that we need to do, that $15 million is pretty much spent. Now, Joe said we balanced the budget this year with a